Welcome to the Making Space For podcast, where we embark on a journey to simplify, organize, and prioritize our lives. I'm your host, Paige, and on each episode, we'll explore the art of intentional living, helping you make room for what truly matters. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, it's easy to find ourselves surrounded by things that don't contribute to our happiness or well-being. Making Space For is your guide to decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mind and soul. We'll dive into practical tips on downsizing, right-sizing, and the transformative power of letting go. Whether you're starting at a cluttered closet, pondering legacy planning, or seeking the elusive balance between work and self-care, this podcast is your sanctuary for inspiration and actionable insights. Join us as we feature experts, share personal stories, and explore the profound impact of intentional living. Together, we'll navigate this journey toward a simpler, more fulfilling life, one where you have more of what matters and less of what doesn't. Before we delve into today's episode, a quick shout out to our flagship company, A Move Handled with Care. As Denver Metro's premier senior and specialty move management expert since 2007, we've mastered the art of downsizing, right-sizing, organizing, and every step in between. From packing and moving to unpacking and staging, our experienced staff represents all stages of life, offering a compassionate touch to what matters most to you. So if you're looking to make a seamless transition while keeping what truly matters in focus, trust A Move Handled with Care. Visit us at amovehandledwithcare.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn to discover the difference. Let's continue making space for the life you deserve. Welcome back to the Making Space For podcast. I'm your host, Paige, and today I'm joined by Gina Schreck, an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and the founder of the Village Workspace here in Centennial, Colorado. Gina has built a career around reinvention, constantly evolving her work while creating spaces that bring people together in meaningful ways. She's led in the marketing and business world, written multiple books, and continues to be a connector and community builder at her core. Most recently, the Village Workspace was voted Best of Mile High 2026 for coworking space, which speaks to her impact she's had locally. Gina really embodies what it means to step into what's next, and today we're talking about how to do just that. This is Making Space For Reinvention. So we're chatting with Gina today. Gina is the person who taught me how to do a podcast in your studio.
Yeah, right here at the lovely Village Workspace studio. I
love it. This has been like the best. We've learned the good, bad, and the ugly of how to do a podcast. And I think more than anything, it's just how to have good conversations. And that's why I love coming back here. For those that don't know, we left the Village. We moved to another warehouse space.
We cried for...
I cried coming in the parking lot today. Yeah, because I love it here so much. But we kind of outgrew our space. But this was such a good place for us to build community and connection. Yeah. And so that's what we wanted to chat with you about today, because you're like the queen of reinventing yourself a million times.
A million times.
And
I'm already planning my next one. I'm like, I'm going to be 63 this summer. I'm like, I need to come up with what's my next chapter. Yeah,
because you've written books on how to transition, how to start over. You've literally started over a million times, including this endeavor that you're doing now.
Yeah.
And never too old to do something new.
No. That's the thing. When people tell me I'm too old to learn that, or at my age, I hate when people say that. At my age, I go, well, I'm older than you, so what does that make me? I'm dirt. If you're saying you're old. As long as I think finding things that keep you excited and curious. Mm-hmm. And I always say I'm as curious as I have experience. I've got lots of life experience. I had a marketing agency for almost 20 years. I, spoke around the globe about marketing. I've written books on things, but it's like, I'm so curious about, I love podcasting because I'm curious about other businesses.
And you're a rabid consumer.
Consumer of podcasts and books, all on topics that I want to learn more. I want to learn more. I love going to conferences. I wish somehow I could get paid just to be a full-time conference attendee.
Attendee or a speaker? I was like, you can't get paid to do that.
Oh yeah, I've been a speaker. No, I want to go where I know nothing and I learn from everybody and get paid.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Village, because I think this is a very interesting kind of pivot. Nothing close to what you did.
I had no experience.
So talk about the Village. How did you get into it? Why did you get into it?
I had a marketing agency. Mm-hmm. We had 12 employees. We were looking for office space, and we walked into buildings where we were just going to have our own office, and we were kind of like, we'd be by ourselves. I mean, it would just be us, in this little room, and we're like, this would be good, but then we leave. We didn't like that idea. We're like, I like this idea of the shared workspace. So we looked at some, my daughter at that time, Taylor had her daughter, who's now almost 8, was a baby in a little carrier. And I said, bring her with us. Let's go tour, because there's going to be days you're going to have to bring her to work. If we get the evil eye when we're touring with a baby.
Now you know.
Now we know this is not a good fit. And so we walked in and we were like, oh, wow, they're either so quiet, we'd get in trouble if we were talking, or they were so sterile feeling. They were like, or they were bro working feeling. It was all these young tech guys.
Yeah.
And we're like, we wouldn't fit in here. And so we started joking at a coffee shop after. We were debriefing everyone we'd go to. We'd tour, and then we'd say, okay, what did we like about it? What would we change about it? What did we hate about it? And we would make our little lists, and we started going, I think we just need to build our own. And we kind of were joking. But then I was like, what if we just had this big warehouse? And in the warehouse, we had little tiny houses. So put tough sheds in there, and every tough shed was an office.
So that was how it started? That was the original idea?
That was the original idea. I wanted to paint the floors black to make roads that you ride bikes up and down. So I had lots of ideas. And then when I met with an architect, they're like, well, there's building code that you have to have HVAC and fire sprinklers, so you can't do tiny houses. I go, oh, well, okay. They have to be connected to the, so I was like, can we make them look like little houses? So what started as just a pain point for us, I wanted a workspace that felt creative, that you come in and meet with other business owners, that you're like, oh, we're all in the same boat, and yet we all have different expertise and different things that are working, and we can encourage each other. So that I loved, which is interesting because in marketing, you build online communities. So we had been building online communities. And what we started seeing is this connection with other businesses. We're building an in-person community, but similar.
Yeah.
We're marketing each other. We're talking about each other. And so it started as this fluke.
But the other thing is, when was this?
Yeah, we started in 2019 planning it.
Yes.
Our doors opened March 2nd, 2020, 11 days before COVID. Mm-hmm. Perfect time to gather people.
Yes. But also great. What if you had your little tiny houses? Everyone could have gone in their tiny house.
They could, and you know what?
Close the door.
That is what saved us here, though.
Yeah.
Everyone
had a door.
So we had pre-sold either 10 or 12 offices out of the 34 we had here. So we started with 10,000 square feet, 34 offices, and 4 little meeting rooms. And COVID happens. We all panic, but we never closed. We stayed open. It was like our little bubble of normalcy. We'd come in and it was like, oh, it's normal. And then we'd leave at night going, oh gosh, there's a pandemic out here. But people came in their offices, and everybody felt safe. And we all then started going, let's do a Facebook Live every day in the cafe, and let's have different businesses come out. We'll stay 6 feet away from each other, and let's help you share. What is your business? What do you do? How do you stay in touch with your customers during this unknown time?
What happened to that?
It was called Remote Life.
Okay.
It's still out there on YouTube.
Okay.
And we did it for the first year we were open here, and we just had all the members come out and talk about their business. And then we did one about how to do Zoom calls. It's crazy to even think back going, wow, we were all so like, how do we do business on Zoom? And so, but it started growing, and more people were coming in going, I can't work from home. My kids are there. My dogs are there. My spouse is there. I need an office. And we got full here. In 2021, we were full. And that's when the other part of the building, 75% of the building, was occupied by a call center for DaVita. They had left like 2 weeks after COVID started. They all went work from home. So the building was empty. So I contacted them and said, hey, can I expand just a little? Like, are you guys coming back? If not, can I take a little bit of your space? That led into them saying, it's all or nothing. Take the whole 40,000 square feet. And in 2022, we built it out and took over the whole building. We subleased that part from them.
And that was when Enter a Move Handled with Care. That's when we came. You had just finished
that
side when we came in.
And we were haggard.
Yeah. But it was you and your daughter, and then she subsequently left.
Which is interesting, because that was another best move ever, because she did everything. Like, she knew she would climb up the ladder and fix something up in the ceiling.
I mean, she was doing our keypads and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, she was a locksmith and
And
IT expert.
Yeah, she's a tech, a whiz on the computer. She could fix people's computers. She's brilliant. And I said, I'm ready to retire and kind of from this and start something new. Are you ready to kind of step up and take over? And she was like, oh no, this is too much. I like being the helper. And so that spun me into this, oh my gosh, if she doesn't take over, what happens? Which made me start thinking of plan your next pivot and who could take over. Once I hired 2 more people, because we had already hired Andrea when Taylor was still here, and Andrea was doing events. And then when Taylor was doing operations, we trained Andrea on operations so we could hire an event person. And what the best move was, as soon as Taylor left, she went back to school. She's working for another company for a while. I didn't feel the need to be in here every day, which was really weird. But when Taylor was here, I was like, well, if Taylor's there, I better go and help her. Because it's my daughter.
Yeah.
I better be there more.
Yeah.
So
no, it's been great to see it. And I will say what is special about this is what you created is a sense of community. And while all of our businesses are so very different in every facet, from therapy to healthcare to movers to association management teams,
management,
all kinds of stuff. And
medical associations are in here.
But you've created a sense of community, which I think is the most important part of when you invent yourself, is to surround yourself with a community. Yeah. So how has that always been something that's been important to you? Is that something you've always done, or is that just something that you've realized you have to have?
I always say in our life, I always used to say 2 types of people. You have balcony people and you have basement people. And the balcony people are those that they're other like-minded people that cheer you on. And they encourage you when you're struggling with something. You could tell them, and they're like, "You could do this." You know, they're not necessarily your customers, but they're your peers, and they're your balcony. They're in the balcony cheering for you. Basement people are those who usually are. I used to classify. I've adjusted my classification. I used to say basement people are those who complain. They tell you your ideas are crazy. They want to hold you in the basement with them. Because they don't want to grow. Yeah. So they don't want you to grow because then it makes them feel bad. Yeah. So basement people typically, and they can be people we live with or they can be people we work with, but we tend to, like you go to networking events and you realize, oh, there's a lot of basement people here who they're very small businesses. Yeah. They don't want to ever grow. They just want to complain about things and their life and whatever. And you can't. You have to surround yourself with those people, balcony people who are doing bigger things than you, who are encouraging you to do bigger things. Now I always look at it and go, I want to join a networking group where people are doing what I thought was impossible. Yeah. I want the people who make doing the impossible seem like a Tuesday morning. Like they do it every day. It's just common. And I was thinking, oh, there's no way you could do that. Oh, now I see people doing it. I could do it. So surrounding yourself with that type of person where you're the learner and not the expert. And so those 2 people, and why I've revised it is because I said sometimes those balcony people are really helpful because when you're an entrepreneur, especially you're starting something new, you have rose-colored glasses on.
Oh, yeah. And this is going to be a wild success.
This is going to be it's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to buy from me. Yeah. And then the reality is you need somebody like a basement person at a specific point in time in your process. First, balcony people have to encourage you. You can do this. Get going. Get started. Take action. Then when you start doing your research, you need to go to a balcony person and say, poke holes in my idea. Yeah. Tell me the things that I wouldn't see.
I'm a great basement person.
Are you?
I am.
Because you're more analytical.
I am, and I'm more of like a realist.
Yeah. Well, that's my husband.
But I also like to be the balcony person for people I think that are doing amazing work.
As long as they don't risk you.
Probably that's true.
Because I'll tell on my husband now because I was like, I'm not going to say it's my husband, but
my husband would say that about me, that I'm his basement person.
Yes, and he's because in a marriage usually there's one that's just like, we can do this. Let's spend all our life savings to do this, and the basement person's like, hold on. Yeah. Let's be realistic.
Also, we could.
And I would go, you're being a wet blanket. My little flicker of flame of my idea, you just put a wet blanket on it, and now it's just like smoke.
But when he thinks something's a great idea, then you're like, man, it must be a great idea if he thinks it's a good idea.
And I also had to realize some of the things that he would tell me, like he said to me, no one will ever want to go to a space where there's kids or dogs there because it's too distracting. I go, well, you're not my target market. Mm-hmm. He's not my target market. However, I wanted to do daycare here. Uh-huh. And he was like, that's chaos. You're just inviting chaos. And I was like, I don't think you're my target market. but I'll do some more research. Well, then more research was like, oh, yeah, you will not make money because you're going to pay it all to insurance. The liability of having a daycare is insanity. So I was like, okay, now I see why daycare is so expensive because it's all paid in insurance. So he's great at poking the holes that I never would see.
Yeah.
Because I pretend it's all going to be amazing. Because I go, it's all going to be amazing. Yeah.
But what about, would you say, like, you know, for somebody, I'm sure there were some naysayers, you know, like you were just talking about your age and like that. First of all, you're a female, so you're a female entrepreneur. So already, like you got, strike one.
Yep.
And the second thing is your age.
I was 55 when I started, when we opened this site.
And a grandma. So like everyone's going to be like, oh, and already have a judgment.
Yeah.
So for those people who are considering, like what keeps you motivated? And it sounds like maybe this is just who you are and how you're woven together. But you are also surrounded by, because I've seen your cohort, people that are like you.
Yeah.
So what keeps that young at heart and like never being afraid to try something even in your 60s?
I really believe, and I am just I want to learn all the time. I want to learn what the latest things are. I want to know, you know, what's the latest trends in social media. I mean, I got into social media marketing and I was 40 or younger than that, but I was older than all the young people doing it.
Yeah.
But I always like the cutting edge things. I listen to podcasts to learn what is happening in the future, what's coming down the pipe that I should be aware of. So I think always learning, putting yourself in positions where you can learn. I belonged to the Speakers Association, and I was a president of the National Speakers Association speaking on things. But I realized at conferences, every speaker that got up there, I was like, again, like I already know this. I've already done this. And I realized, okay, I was at a point where this association was not helping me grow. It was a group of people that I enjoyed hanging out with, but they weren't helping my business grow. And I was like, I need to be in a different room so that I'm the person that doesn't know anything. And I'm not afraid to know nothing and start over, which I think some people are afraid, especially as you get older. You have expertise in areas. So to start something new is like, oh, wait, I have to be a beginner again.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not be good at something. I've never been a perfectionist, so that is a plus for me because I'm like, I don't care. If I mess up, and I learn from it and go on. Other people have a friend of mine is such a perfectionist. She's been writing a book for 100 years. And she'll never publish that book because it's never perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have to just do it and then adjust. And I'm never afraid to do that. So I think those things are a good combo of stay curious and learning.
Well, because you're not afraid of technology, which I will say is a huge, a stereotype. That
it is.
People over a specific age do not engage in. But
anything.
I mean, I've gone several times. You and I have sat and talked about, you know, AI stuff that we're doing
and marketing
and not, you know, and understanding how we're using it. And that is not something, I mean, most people can't navigate their phone or their email more or less figuring out,
and
I don't
AI understand that because
I don't either.
At a certain age when we say, I don't want to put the effort into learning this, you're going to become irrelevant, not just in a work setting, but even to your family. Like, how do you stay in touch with grandkids?
Or how do you like manage your life and your day-to-day paying bills? I mean, you know, they're paper bills. No one's doing that anymore. Being able to access things online. And I did a whole podcast with the Digital Wrangler, if you know her, and like talking about being in charge of your digital world, which is so big. And if you are resistant to learning it, how do you manage it?
And here's the thing. You don't have to be good at it.
No.
And you don't have to learn it to the point where you're going to make a business out of it. There's so many free classes. I always tell people in here, if you just get a new phone or a new computer, a Mac, go to the Apple Store on a Saturday and sit in on their classes.
The Genius Bar is exactly, and they are patient as saints.
Oh my
I went in there one day
so
and
good.
I was like, oh my gosh, it was all my clients, you know, like hypothetical clients. It was all my clients sitting at a table learning how to take photos and get them on their computer.
Them in folders
I was like, that is not my gift.
No.
I don't have that gift to teach that.
I have the ability to take complex ideas and make them simple and the patience to do it. And so I could see, there's my next career.
There you go.
I could be at the Apple Bar, the Genius Bar.
I could not do it. Now I can help you sort through all your stuff.
Yeah.
And I can help you downsize and declutter and organize and all those things that people hate. But I will not teach you how to use your phone.
But I do think everybody should pick things that you're not good at and go and take a class in that. Like, I mean, I tell people go take
or audiobook or something, like just something where you're learning about it and being curious about it.
I went out and bought a ukulele and I was like, I'm going to learn to play the ukulele. I brought it home and my husband was like, what?
That's a great thing to pick, actually.
Yes.
If you're going to learn an instrument, it's a very easy instrument to learn.
And I can watch YouTube videos. I signed up for a little place in Castle Rock to go in and sit with the instructor. And I was waiting for my turn and they were like, 8-year-olds sitting next to me. So it was me and the 8-year-olds. And my husband and I have taken dance classes where we know nothing. I said, that's an Alzheimer's dance class, because every week they go, let's review what we did last week. And we're going,
we don't
remember anything that we did last week.
That's funny.
But we had so much fun. And I just think it keeps you in a mindset of you're exploring, you're learning.
I mean, because right now you're going through a really cool program to even build your business from here. And we were just talking about, the intensity of that. Obviously, that's what gives you passion and joy.
Yeah.
And
it's the learning. It's the learning. Is. And I'm doing stuff that, I'm 62 and I'm taking a class that's like a compressed MBA class, but on my business, financials, all the stuff that you have to, writing your policy manuals, a crisis management plan. I'm like, yeah, I could do this. But I'm actually now incorporating, how do I use AI to help me create this, so that I'm also looking at systems that if I ever sold the business, somebody else would have
could replicate
it. And I'm looking at going, now I'm learning stuff I know, but I'm putting it in a new context. And it's like, ooh, I've never been excited. I'm excited again about technology, learning all the stuff I'm learning in Claude and coworking, Claude Cowork. I'm learning in a way that I can't remember being this excited since like 2007 when Twitter and Facebook first came out. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's do you find that you have people in your like age demographic or business acumen demographic? Do you find that you're finding people like-minded, or is that the struggle?
It's the struggle.
I would think that is a struggle.
It's a struggle. Most people, they look at me and they go, you're insane.
Yeah.
You're insane.
Well, I think about it all the time. People that tell me like, oh, I would never own a business. I'm like, well, if you asked me 10 years ago, would I own a business? I would have told you absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And then if you said, would you own a business with employees? I'd say absolutely not. But here's the thing. You get into it and then you find the thing that jazzes you, and then you're like, all right, well, how do I make this better? How do I make this more efficient? How do I be the best at this? How do I have the best reputation?
Yeah.
I saw something the other day. It was like, you're not building a business, you're building a reputation. And I was like, I love that, because I hadn't considered, and you do that actually in your personal life as well. Right. Your brand is you. Like it's how you show up. And
what people say about you when you leave.
Exactly. And I was like, that is fascinating that we're not building a business. We're like, it's a reputation.
Yeah,
you are building a reputation. How do you treat people? Talking about like pricing and stuff, like how to stand in your value and like not let people, especially as women entrepreneurs, well, that's too expensive. Like you're not worth that. And it's like, well, you are. I mean, that's why like when, we were renting here, we would probably have to take over 2 suites. I'm like, we can't afford her 2 suites, but guess what? Like this is also not the right fit for us. Right. And I'm not going to ask her for a discount because that's what's going to keep her business afloat. Yeah. So it's understanding value and like seeing that in others. But I would venture to say that's a hard thing. I think it's even hard in my 40s to find people that are like-minded in that way.
But here's what I also look at going, no matter what we're doing, if you have a job somewhere, I mean, I can work at a retail store and I'm going to work hard. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to work hard. It'll be enjoyable work. I would love to just be
Can you imagine just clocking in, clocking out? I miss those days.
I do. I do. But I would find ways to go in and do something bigger than what they're doing currently.
Yeah, right.
I would just be thinking of ideas all the time.
Like a bartender, we'd come up with like the signature cocktail, like the reason.
Weekly, there'd be a signature cocktail for that week. I would think of things and make it creative and make it fun. And I think that I look at it and go, when you start a business, you're taking that same effort, but you're doing it for yourself. It's just greater risk. And the older you get, yes, like I told my husband, we opened this, so we have to put $500,000 into this to get it started. He's like, what? Like you are risking. He kept saying, we're not at an age where we can rebuild wealth.
Yes.
Fast.
Our runway is short.
Short. And I kept saying, however, my confidence is high. I'm also a really good salesperson to my own demise. I sold him on, I can reduce the risk. I know how to market. I will fill the space. I will do this. 10 days later. Okay, so the world is shutting down. I didn't anticipate that in my plan.
Right.
But we had to financially put a big risk. But I knew, and I've always known this, I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the, person that has the most technical expertise, but I will work harder than anyone else in my industry.
I would agree.
To make things work.
I would agree.
And I will do whatever it takes. Like, I will walk around here with a trash can, rolling around, I'll pick up trash. And people are like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. I'm like,
well, there's nothing
what?
that, I think that's part of it, is nothing can be beneath you.
Beneath you. I'm like,
yes,
oh, please.
nothing can be beneath
No.
you. Like, we always say, you know, Sierra and I.
If a toilet's clogged, I'm calling a plumber. I'm sorry.
I would probably do that. But like we always say, we would never ask our staff to do something we wouldn't do ourselves.
Exactly.
In fact, we've had to put our money where our mouth is on
And
that.
you have to show
and
us
you have
sometimes.
to show them sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not afraid to do this. Now, I also sometimes am like, we probably shouldn't be doing this,
Right.
which is the things that you learn along the way too.
Which
that
is
you
this-
should be hiring
This
out.
class I'm in right now is really helping me because it's so much work and so much time that I'm having to, you know, I get an email from one of our team about, oh, this person, the invoice wasn't done or whatever. I'm like, why are you telling me? Like, I'm not going to go do it. So this class has been great. And I'm like, well, hopefully you can figure that out. Because I'm like, this is totally something doable. So it's helping me reprioritize the things that everyone used to ask me, or just telling me, oh, the sink in the kitchen and the fourth kitchen that we have over here is dripping something. And I was just like, well, look in our policy manual. There's some contacts for you.
Well, but there's also a lot of research too, and I will say that maybe that's why you went this direction, is the isolation, how it affects your mental health, your business health, all of the things. I mean, I think we even underestimated when we moved in here, like, well, nobody does what we do.
Right.
So it's fine. We'll just come in, we'll come out, like,
Right.
we'll do a podcast. Nope. We met people. I've had strategic conversations. We've
Others
hosted
that
events
you can
here.
collaborate with. Yeah.
And I feel like what are ways, I guess, maybe that you do, or that other people or people that are even in here are creating community that keeps themselves going, either personally or professionally?
Yeah. To me, I think that is so underestimated when you start a business, how much you need community. Because starting a business, you're like, I'm doing this so I can work from home and I can be alone. And I can do my own thing. It's like, great. Next Tuesday, you're going to be sitting there alone. Something good happens, who celebrates with you?
Right.
Something bad happens, who's there to say it's all right? Who's that balcony person? And I do think after a while, your doubts start speaking louder and louder about your success. Like you start saying, what am I doing? This is crazy. And I just think community is so important, whether you do it once a week. You know what I tell people? Join your local chambers. Find a networking group. Get involved in some other entrepreneurial group that you can share experience with each other. You can say, what's working for you in your marketing? How did you handle hiring your first employee? Just those little conversations are really
I would even
helpful.
say, like you guys offer here, like lunch and learns that may or may not be related to business.
True.
It could be just people who want to learn about AI, or
Right.
people who just want to learn
like
about
your communication style, those assessments, we have
whatever it
somebody
is,
do
and
one.
that kind of stuff. Volunteering opportunities. I mean, there's tons of
nonprofits
in here that you can get involved very easily, and finding something that gives you that joy and that connection.
And it's just so important. And I, my marketing agency, we all worked remote for a long time. And even though we got on calls once a week it's
not the same.
It wasn't the same. And I just kept feeling like we need to be in each other's presence.
My sister was just talking about, because she works remotely for a hospital system, and she said, they just spend an absorbent amount of money to get this leadership team together. And she's like, it seems ridiculous. She's like, but it's different than a Zoom call because I'm not pushing a button to raise my hand.
Right.
Like you just in flow, you have conversation, you
Yes.
talk, you over talk, you
Right.
share, you think of something, you're not writing it down to wait for your turn. It's more organic connection. And I do think we underestimate that with our new
So much.
culture in business.
And it's frightening to me, the young people coming up, I'm going, where's the water cooler interactions,
Yeah.
the coffee where they met somebody they didn't know within their own company and learned how to communicate, or learned how to shake hands and look in the eye, or, the things that we just did because we were in the business world back then. Now young people are working. And I just think it's
and it's
scary.
interesting because we just met with, you'd be super proud of us, we just met with an AI agent who's looking at coming in and like, what are some AI ways to help your business thrive?
Yeah.
We kind of had some non-negotiables though. Like we had non-negotiables as far as like certain things that we don't want to automate.
Right.
And I was like, maybe am I just an old school person? But I was like, here it is. The connection we have with our clients is why they trust us.
Exactly.
Going out in person, we can do virtual. Like we can do that. We absolutely can do a virtual consultation. Is it
Not
going to
the
feel
same.
the same?
No.
Is me actually touching and looking through photos and all that? No, absolutely not going to
Is
do
somebody's frustration of they couldn't log in that day
Yes.
because of something suddenly
Yes.
going to reflect on you?
Yes.
Because they had frustration with technology.
we still do in our industry, we still do paper estimates and we do paper like invoices at the end. And the reason is because we're in real time. But also our customers want a piece of paper. And because we're not going back and like wheeling and dealing and coming up with these magic numbers. We have a system. Yeah. This is the system we plugged you in based on your needs and like do. Here you go. If we're the right fit, we're a right horse for the race, let's go. So it was interesting having this conversation with this AI guy because he was like, oh, well, we can do an automated phone system and we can do it. And I was like, listen. No. Our people don't want an automated phone system.
That's my thing here. We talked about that going after hours. We should have an AI thing. And I was just like, I still don't like when I call
and you can
somewhere
tell.
and I can tell it's AI or a call center. I'm like,
have you ever asked them, are you an AI agent?
No.
I have.
Do they answer you?
Yeah. Well, vaguely.
Yes? Oh, interesting.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I'm here to do great customer service, like stuff like that.
Apps. Everybody has an app in their business. It's like customers are tired of apps.
Nobody wants that.
Don't make me go on and then I'm like, have they tested their own app? This doesn't work.
Yes. We're doing an AI where like inefficiencies on our operation side.
Yes.
Because our CRM is not correct and Like that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, I'm open to that. I'm not necessarily open to taking away the personal connection because I think that's what that's the magic sauce.
Like to me, I'm using AI in such unique ways. Like first I have my AI board of directors.
And I do too. Who's on your board of directors?
Sarah Blakely of Spanx.
Me too.
She's busy.
She's very busy.
She's busy. Mark Cuban.
Okay.
He's on my board.
Okay.
Richard Branson.
Oh,
on my board.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've met him in real life. Did you know that? It was pretty amazing.
I
was trying real hard not to geek out.
People that you're going, I would love to just pick your brain. I want, Oprah Winfrey.
Well, you were the one who taught me how to do that. Yeah. And so I created my board of directors and then I go and I turn my AI, like whatever she is. What's yours? Her name's Juniper.
Oh, well, now I have 8 different. I have my executive assistant.
But I'll go for a walk.
Randy. And I talk to Randy all the time.
So I go for a walk and I will have these conversations out loud because sometimes it sounds stupid, right? You're like, I need to flush the stupid out. Right. Or like, is this even a real idea that I want to bring up to my staff?
Give me input on this idea.
Yeah. So I have my board of directors. We do a round table with our board of directors. And then
they each reply with their expertise, with books they've written. They're pulling content from their stuff, which that's a really good one. And then I created one. Vinny is my AI marketing director.
Are you naming them? Or
every one of them I name. So I've got Randy, who's my executive assistant. It's hard to keep track. I have so many employees now.
I just have Juniper.
I like that name.
She's a very soft voice.
I do have
like
Claudette.
her.
Claudette's my CFO.
Okay.
And Claudette, I uploaded a couple documents and said, can you give me a financial health checkup? And she gave me like, here's the things you should do in the next 3 months. Here's what you should do in the next 6 months. Here's what you should do in the next 12 months. I was like, brilliant advice on what to pay off when.
Well, I just did because, you know my husband now, but he started a new business. And so like we have general information. Well, I have an established business. So when I look at books, I look at it with a different lens.
Right.
So I've never done a startup before. And so I've had to take his books and I'm like, talk me off the ledge because this looks horrible on paper.
You're my husband.
Yeah. So he's like, but that's my gifts, right? I'm a very analytical person. I'm the QuickBooks gal. And so I'm like, I put it all into AI and I was like, here's the information. Talk me off the ledge of why this is still a good idea.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because it's like, well, yes, it's immediately cash flowing. It's doing this and this and this. It's like you're servicing the debt on this. And it was like, okay. All right. I feel better about it.
Did he tell you that or AI told
you? No, AI told me that.
That's what I mean.
Then I sent that to him and I said, just want to let you know.
That you're safe.
You're still doing all right.
Yeah, you're still doing okay. Yeah, I've created these different agents that create, that kind of I can brainstorm with and just, marketing. I said, I want you every week. My AI, this is Vinny, he goes out and compares my website against my 5 top competitors. I said, I want you to give me an SEO analysis every week of how I'm ranking and 5 ideas that I can do this week to improve my ranking. Pew, so many ideas. Like they came up with so many ideas.
But it's also the implementation part. That's where I struggle. It's like all the ideas, but then because now Claude.
Now Claude, I go, okay. Do number 2 for me.
That's amazing. I haven't gotten to that level. I need to.
Wrote the whole copy that I needed another landing page, created the landing page. Mine is being blown. And the thing that's, I was telling somebody yesterday, because I said, I just can't wrap my head around making myself learn all this AI. I said, here's the thing. In most things, when you're in that beginner learning mode, you're so frustrated because you're like, this is too much to learn. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I was feeling that way about a month ago. I was like, is my brain finally at that saturation point where I can't
absorb
this.
anymore.
I can't absorb it because it just seemed like everyone I listened to, it's like, oh, create this AI this and create this, automate that and make $10 million every month. And I was just like, oh, I'm over it. But then I realized, okay, I just need to stick with it. I just need to learn. I need to listen to podcasts to learn the language. So listening to podcasts where it helps is I hear them speaking all these new terms that I'm not from. It's like you move into a new country. And I'm an AI immigrant. And I come into this AI country and they're all using language that I don't understand, learning models and, all these. And so I have to listen to them speak. Okay, that's step one. Then, okay, now try one thing. Go to the little local market and order a bagel, or something, in your new country. And so then I just start playing with the AI board of directors.
Yeah.
No risk, no info. So little steps. Only like 2 weeks ago, I was like, this is mind-blowing what it's now doing for my business because it's giving me, I had to create a crisis management plan. So I just asked, my operations director, what questions do you have for me so that you can create a crisis management plan? And it said, here's all the questions I have. I use this one tool. I just push the button and I speak now instead of typing everything.
Yeah.
So I just push the button and I start answering the questions. Who's your insurance broker? What's their email address? What's their phone number? Who would you call for the building if something would happen here? And I gave them all the answers. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to create your 15-page crisis management plan. Great. I was like, wow, that would have taken me.
Well, the other thing about AI that maybe we discussed or something, like when you don't know how to do it, have it explain to you how to do it.
As if I'm a fifth grader.
Yeah,
that's what I say. I go, as if I'm in fifth grade.
As if I am completely unaware of how to do any of this.
And
teach
be
me.
Okay.
And then,
with
to your point, what questions do you need answered from me to be able to create whatever it is I'm looking to create?
Or teach me how to use you.
Yeah.
And explain it like a fifth grader.
We were just talking, Sierra and I were just on Good Day Colorado again, and we were talking about like rules that we have for keep, toss, donate. And one of them is things that are obsolete. And that is a really hard thing for people to let go of, is things that are obsolete. And one of them that we see all the time is manuals in your home.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't need them.
No.
They're all online. They're all digital. Search. They're all. And in fact, no one's using them anymore to the point because they're usually outdated before you, like the repair on them has increased.
And now you can watch a video.
Yes, on how to repair it.
Trying to find in the manual how to do it. Watch
or
a video
is something really that broken that I need to replace it? Like you can put in, like we had a water heater issue. And so we were like, these are all the issues with our water heater. It's this many years old. This is the make, model, and whatever. Like, do we replace it or do we pour money into it? And the answer was replace it because you're going to spend more time in the repair, things like that. So you don't need them. But we were just talking about things that are becoming obsolete.
Interesting, yeah. Because I don't keep any manual that comes with it. I just toss it.
Photos.
I could go and take a picture of the back of it and say, what is this? I had these little I didn't know what they were. In our house, we're remodeling, and we had these things on the walls. I was like, I don't even know what these are. My husband didn't know. I was like,
just take a picture of it? Did it tell you what it was?
I took a picture. I went to Google and said, what is this? And it said, those are glass breaking sensors that it can hear if somebody breaks into your house. Well, we don't even have it hooked up. So we're like,
take those down.
Come down. And the other one was motion sensor detect. So whoever lived in our house before was very paranoid because they were in every room. And I was like, wow. But all I use is Google. I just took a picture of it and said, what is this?
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing is when you're trying to reinvent, it's also, that just made me think of that. I was like, what is now obsolete? And I think working from home is becoming not obsolete. I don't think that's true.
No.
But it's becoming where people are realizing that isolation and all of that sort of thing. You need a community.
All the time. Like that's why I tell people, even if it's one day a week, get out of your house, go work somewhere else with other people that you can share with. And
and not a coffee shop where you're still invisible.
Right.
Because that's not going to help.
Gather some friends who are doing things and say, let's meet at the library and rent a room there.
There's a women entrepreneur group that I want to look into too. It's called Wealth Walks. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's female entrepreneurs and you
talking money.
It's just walking. You meet, you get paired with an entrepreneur and you go for a walk. And it's just local, and it's businesses that are not like yours, but they try to find people that are either, this is what I'm thinking, maybe now that you're saying that, a balcony or a basement person,
right.
that maybe you need to
pair with that with somebody who's
and then you just go for a
you.
walk, because think about how many great conversations you have when you're walking. Because you just
wealth walks. I
wealth
love
walks,
that.
and I was like, that's such a great thing. But something like that, like plug into the places where start one exactly.
Like you could start one. I do. That's another area is like learning, especially women as we get older. Going, do I know anything about the investments for my family?
Right.
See, and it's like a lot of women are like, they wait until their husband passes away and they go, I don't even know the password. I don't even know what banks we have money in. I don't even know if we have a 401k. Where's the, do we have a mortgage still? I had a friend, her husband died. She thought their house was paid off. She found out there was a second taken out on it because he had a gambling problem. And I was just like, I never want to be in that position. So I want to learn. So I started subscribing to all these financial literacy podcasts. I downloaded books on understanding wealth. I dove in. My husband was probably thinking I was going to kill him off because I was
you had some plan.
To know everything. I was just like, I will know everything about this before the day is over.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went into this period of I'm going to learn everything in this area. Okay, now I feel good about it. Okay, now I'm going to subscribe to these podcasts. I mean, I just think I love podcasts because I can go on a walk. Put in an earbud and go for a walk, take my dogs and learn something.
Completely.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I miss the Village so much. I love what you've created here. And it's not going to stop here. It's just going to keep on. Yeah. I mean, because we still you're getting us into programs. You're recommending us for programs. We're going to.
I know, which I do want to like partner more. And that's another thing, just looking for ways. How do you partner people up with, I know someone who's targeting the same customer, but they're in a different industry. Yeah. And we need to be doing more classes in here. So maybe you need to teach one on.
We can do all kinds of stuff.
How to downsize. Like, what do you need to know?
Yeah. You need to downsize?
Well, we're remodeling a
kitchen. I was going
to say, we're destroying an old dining room that we never used. It just was a junk room. So I was like, let's turn this into a scullery kitchen or back kitchen.
Oh, like a butler's pantry?
Yeah, a butler's pantry. And
very cool.
Finding all the junk that we have, we're like, why do we have 2 little things that boil eggs that
It's like, when's the last time you used it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, my husband, that's another one of his downfall. He orders stuff off Instagram he sees. Oh. So we have all these random little gadgets.
Well, you said that there's like the person who wants to go all in and the person who's a little more realistic and they marry each other.
Yes.
There's also, in our world, that's the person who gets rid of everything and the person who keeps everything and they get married.
That's always true. That's always
That's
true.
me and my husband, too. I'm the thrower awayer.
And he saves
Yeah, because my kids will come in and be like, Mom, did you throw that away? And I'm like, sounds like something I would do. Yeah. Sounds like something I would do.
One of my daughters still says, remember that balance board you got rid of? And I was like, the one that was in the garage for years that you never used? Yeah, I did get rid of it proudly. Yeah. And if you want, I will put that on your wish list for your birthday next year.
And she doesn't want it either?
Yeah, she doesn't want it now.
No, absolutely
remember when you just tossed that? I was like, yeah, I did.
I did. I tossed all the things.
I didn't toss it. I gave it away to somebody who was going to be very excited about it.
Yeah, I love to give things away. Yeah. Don't try to sell them. I don't try to none of it. I try to just give it away.
Purge physical stuff and then purge all the unnecessary things we learned in the past and be open yourself up for new ideas.
So my last question, the question I always ask is, what are things when you're reinventing yourself, because that's kind of what we're talking about, when you're reinventing yourself, what is that, or what are some tips and tricks or things, like the one thing that sticks in your mind that creates space for other things in your life?
Oh, I mean, besides learning, it is finding time, making time to be alone with your thoughts, because we do have a lot of good ideas, but we stay busy enough that we don't sit and reflect on how can I implement some of the things I'm learning, or implement time to play around with some of the new things. And that was the hardest thing for me, is just making time to reflect. And I mean, it's kind of like you need to go on a retreat with yourself. So even if it's mini retreats of a walk, the book called, The Artist, not The Artist's Way. I'm going to have to tell you so you can put a link, but it's a great book on starting over. And she talks about doing dates with yourself. So once a week, you're supposed to go somewhere by yourself, not with your spouse, not with your kids. You go by yourself so that you can, and maybe just go to the art supply store. Maybe it's go to a coffee shop you haven't been to. It's somewhere where it's a date with yourself and you have time to kind of just let new connections start forming. And it's really helpful. And going on walks, she talks about going on a walk every day by yourself. No phone, no earbuds, just so that you can think. And she says, don't even bring your dogs because you'll be distracted.
You're thinking about your dog. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really hard because that means I need 2 walks. But But I do believe I learned so much, and then I'm like, oh, I need time to sit and let it soak in. Okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And this, okay, I won't have time to do that.
I love that. Making time for yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. This is always so fun.
It is. That wraps up another inspiring episode of the Making Space for podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guest and to you, our cherished listeners. Your journey to intentional living begins with each small step, and we're honored to be a part of it. Before we part ways, a friendly reminder, if you're embarking on a move or seeking expert guidance in downsizing, remember a move handled with care here in Denver. With over 15 years of experience in senior and specialty move management, we're here to transform your transition into a seamless, stress-free experience. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and visit us on social media or at amovehandledwithcare.com for more inspiration and resources. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep making space for what matters most.